Yeah, hello. Once again, you are welcome to class. And we are still on the poem Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. And what we are going to do today is to continue from where we stopped in the previous class. In the previous class, I took you through stanza by stanza analysis of the poem Still I Rise. And today, I'm going to take you through some themes. I have a lot written on the screen, like I told you in the previous class. I wouldn't read it so much. It's for you to read. The first theme I want us to look at is overcoming adversity through strength and confidence. Now, if you paid attention to the poem Still Arise, you will realize that Maya Angelou, as an individual, has actually gone through a lot, but that a lot never affected her. She never gave up. She never allowed what people thought about her affected her in any way. She still rose from the dust. And that is what overcoming adversity through strength and confidence is all about. It says that you may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. Then a lot of rhetorical questions showing how things were difficult by using images like the oil wells that were pumping in her living room, then the gold mines that were digging in her backyard. All those things shows someone who is not ready to give up inner riches and inner strength. So she still rose out of those difficulties. The next theme is the theme of unyielding spirit and self worth. She was never ready to give up. All the suppressions, all the twisted lies, all the dehumanizations never kept her down. There were places where she asked questions that means that those things were not enough to break her. Questions like, does my haughtiness offend you? Telling you that she still remained bold after all those things. Questions like, did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. These are questions directed to the oppressor, trying to say that if that is what you expect, then I have an unyielding spirit and I believe in my self worth. So your distortions, your oppressions, your discriminations, your racial abuses cannot keep me down. It cannot destroy me. My confidence and my resilience will always triumph over any form of difficulties. And like I've always told you, and like your teachers always tell you, when you are trying to explain these themes or you're trying to discuss a literary piece, like I am doing now, quote or paraphrase to support your answers. Quote directly, paraphrase, rewrite it in your own words to support. The next one is we are looking at legacy of oppression and the journey from pain. You know, oppression and pain are two very inevitable parts of Maya Angelou's poem Still I Rise. Blacks during her time were oppressed. I wish you know her story from a servant, a house girl, a sex worker to become an academician or find herself in academia wasn't easy. She actually went through her own share of life, her own share of oppression, her own share of pain, but she never gave up. She never gave up. That's why she said, you may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness. But still, like air, I will rise. And truly, frankly, certainly, still like air, she rose. She rose. Still like air, we will rise. We will never give up. Then the role of ancestor and heritage in identity. So there's this part of the poem that talks about ancestral heritage and identity. She said, out of the hearts of history shame I rise. So her strength in rising is engulfed in whatever the ancestors left behind. She was able to link her presence to our past, and that emphasized her source of strength. up from a past that's rooted in pain and rise. So the pain didn't start from her. It's hereditary, it's ancestral. But out of that, she rose. So her identity is rooted in history, in heritage, ancestral heritage, cultural heritage. But one thing that she has or she did was to rise out of all those terrors. And that is wonderful. Then, finally, for today, we'll look at universal message of hope and liberation. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, arise, hope. Left behind all those nights of terror, like terrifying nights. Nights she has to stay in her room and cry alone. Nights she has to go through pain, agony, disappointment, suffering. Nights she has to endure. She left all behind and still rose. And she rose into a daybreak that's wondrously clear. So the future that she rose into is clear now. No more pain, no more terror, no more fear, no more oppression, no more suppressions. She rose into a brighter future. And she didn't just go alone, bringing the gifts that the ancestors left behind. Now, this is where the liberation comes. I rise, I rise, I rise. Emphasis, repetition, emphasizing her victory, emphasizing her triumph, her liberation. In summary, for the first time I read, Still I Rise offers a profound narrative of empowerment and resilience, rooted in historical pain, yet rising towards hope and dignity. I rise, I rise, I rise. Angelou's use of vivid imagery and confident language inspires a universal call to overcome adversity and embrace one's inherent worth. There is value in everyone. Learn to embrace it, even in the face of difficulties, like Angelou advises. The poem remains a timeless beacon of strength, heritage, and liberation. Thank you for today's class. See you in the next class for literary devices. Bye-bye.